Jai Sri Ram. Jai Sri Ram. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Bharat Marg, Dr. S. Padmapriya. And we also want to welcome all the viewers to Bharat Marg. Today is going to be an incredible topic we are going to cover. It is about uh, Sri Ramanujacharya. Okay, a saint, hero, and a revolutionary. That's what we are going to cover about. And we are also, it's a very important thing, folks. Okay, because the Sanatan was rejuvenated by Ramanujacharya, and he has a similar kind of role like what Adi Shankara played at his time. Okay, the guru who guided his disciples exactly in the path of Bhagwat Geeta. Okay, we will be seeing all those things. Many were shown light and brought back to Sanatan. See, you had to understand there were thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. Like today, what it is happening, people are becoming rakshas. So he brought them back to Sanatan. So we will discuss all about it. But before going further, friends, please make sure to like the video, comment on the video, share the video with as many people as you can. And also, friends, please make sure to, if you didn't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel Bharat Marg and also press the notification bell to stay connected with us, because we come from abroad. There is little bit timing issues with us now and then. So, please make sure that you click on the notification bell so that, whenever we go live, you get notified along with the heading. Okay, so that if it is interesting, you can come in and give your input, ask any questions, and we will talk in detail. Okay. Dr. Padmapriya, thank you for joining Bharat Marg. And, it's amazing. You have done research on Ramanujacharya. Say why you are calling him a saint, hero, and revolutionary. What is, say me about him? Okay, we would love to learn from you.
I'm very thankful for the opportunity today. Yes, Sri Ramanujacharya was a saint, a hero, and a social revolutionary. We must understand that he was born 1,000 years back, and the kind of changes that he made 1,000 years back, it is simply remarkable. Now, in order to understand his life story and what message he wanted to tell,
Absolutely.
we need to first understand the concept of Vaishnavism. Vaishnavism is essentially, it's a part of Hinduism, which is centered on the devotion to Bhagwan Mahavishnu and his avatars. So according to Vaishnavism, it is basically a theology which recognizes many forms, Ananta Rupa of the same divinity, which is Emperuman or Mahavishnu. So according to Vaishnavism, Mahavishnu or Emperuman is what is pervading throughout the universe. So Bhagwan Sriman Narayana is the universe personified. He is monumental in form and full of glory. And there is no defined form for Mahavishnu. Of course, there are various avatars, and so he can assume any form that he pleases. So he's multiform. So that is what we have to understand, that whatever is seen or heard of in this cosmos is permeated by Sriman Narayana Emperuman. So Vaishnavism is about everything being pervaded by Sriman Narayana. It is the bhakti to Lord Narayana.
Yes.
Bhagwan
But
Narayana is
how did what that is great, but why do you call Ramanujacharya a saint, hero, and a revolutionary? Let's
Yes.
go there.
Yes. So essentially, what he did was he brought a revolution by bringing in many new as well as taking things from the old. So we must understand that there was already a certain amount of Vaishnavism which was prevailing, which was Vishnu Bhakti. But what he was able to do was he became the greatest exponent of Sri Vaishnavism and Vishishta Dvaita philosophy. So Sri Vaishnavism is essentially a tradition. So we must recognize one fact. He was not the propounder of Sri Vaishnavism. He didn't create that. There was the founder of Sri Vaishnavism was Nada Muni. Sri Nada Muni. He was the founder of Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya in Sri Rangam. His grandson Yamunacharya was a person who continued Alavandar. He continued the Sri Vaishnavas sampradaya or parampara. But the person who made it, very big and who became the greatest exponent, it was Sri Ramanujacharya. So Sri Ramanujacharya was the person who became the greatest exponent of Sri Vaishnavism.
Explain me, ma. What do you mean by exponent? Explain me a little bit.
Yes, exponent is a person who was very able to clearly explain the concept of Sri Vaishnavism and who was able to spread it far and wide. Nadamuni, he was the propounder. He was the person who created this idea
Okay.
of Sri Vaishnavism, which is
Absolutely.
essentially following the Sanskrit Vedas,
Absolutely.
Upanishads, and the other philosophies. And Yamunacharya was also doing that. And
Absolutely.
Nadamuniji, he combined the following
let's
of
stick
the.
to let's
Yes.
stick to Ramanujacharya because of the time constraints, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sri Ramanujacharya was the greatest exponent of Sri Vaishnavism and Vishishtadvaita philosophy. In other words, he was the person who was able to best explain Sri Vaishnavism by saying that it is a combination of following the path of devotion to Mahavishnu by understanding the Sanskrit Vedas and the Tamil Vedas, which is the Nalayira Divya Prabandham, or the 4,000 pasurams or verses sung in the glory of Lord Mahavishnu. So he was the person who was able to combine both of them, and he was the person who was able to bring maximum understanding to the common people about Sri Vaishnavism. Now, this is one part of his contribution. The other is he also became the greatest exponent of the Vishishta Dvaita philosophy. It's a philosophy. Vedanta, Vedanta means the end of the Vedas is Vedanta. So we had Lord Adi Shankaracharya who gave the Advaita philosophy. Then we had Ramanujar who gave the Vishishta Dvaita philosophy, and there are many others like Nimbarka and Vallabha and Madhva. So Vishishta Dvaita philosophy, or the arguments in favor of Vishishta Dvaita philosophy, was best given by Ramanujacharya. Now he said that that is the Vishnu is the head, and the entire universe and the Jivatmas, the universe contains both the living and the non-living, right? So the God is the head, or Emperaman or Mahavishnu is the head, and the universe comprising of the Jivatmas and the other material things, all of it together has a very unique relationship. So that is what he said. So this is a very unique thing, because
You didn't answer my question yet. Why do you call him a saint, which he was, right? And hero and the revolutionary? Explain us that one in a minute or two.
He was a saint because he was the greatest exponent of Sri Vaishnavism, and
Right,
he was
we
the
got
greatest exponent of the Vishishtadvaita philosophy,
Okay,
which
we got that.
restored the Sanatana Dharma, because there were a lot of
Let's
people
come to hero and revolutionary part.
Yes.
Why do you call him? Okay, because see, I believe he followed. You correct me if I am wrong. He followed Bhagwat Geeta to the letter because he believed Varna is never by Janam; it is by the karma.
Correct.
Okay, and he brought so many people into the fold. You can do the Narayan Bhakti, isn't it? Can you talk about those things for me a little bit?
Yes, he was a person who did not believe in caste discrimination. He was far ahead of his times. We are talking about 1,000 years back in the Orthodox times. We just have to go back thinking about how Kanchipuram and Sri Perumbudur would have been 1,000 years back.
In fact, I want to say something. In Orthodox time, there was no caste discrimination. Okay, it came in unorthodox time. Okay, just for your information. Okay, please carry on.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So nevertheless, there was a certain amount of discrimination which was practiced even 1,000 years back. But in spite of all of that, he was a person who gave respect to the person's deeds and devotion to Emperaman or Mahavishnu. According to Sri Ramanujacharya, a person does not become a Brahmin by simply wearing the sacred thread. We must remember this. He talked about this 1,000 years back. He said, you don't become a Brahmin simply by wearing a sacred thread. No. He said, you become a Brahmin by being a total devotee of Mahavishnu or Emperaman. Whoever is totally devoted to Lord Vishnu.
He never talked about Brahman. He talked about you become a Vaishnava.
Yes. He was yes, exactly. So he was very respectful to people like Sri Kanchipurna and many others. And he did not discriminate people on the basis of their caste. In fact, there is a very recorded history that he even left his wife Raksambal because she was over casteist in nature, and she was not respectful to both Mahapurna and to Kanchipurna, because she felt that they belong to a lower community. And he was very upset with his wife, and so much he was so upset with his wife that he in fact lost interest in family life and took sannyasa. So this is a person who actually practiced what he preached. He did not believe in caste discrimination at all. So that is why he invited Kanchipurna, who was a great devotee of Lord Varadaraja Swami of Kanchipuram, who used to go every day, who used to go from his home at Pundamalli to Kanchipuram, who used to go every day to the Lord Varadaraja Swami temple, and who used to have darshan there. So he was so
Right.
impressed with Kanchipurna that he asked him to become the guru.
But let me ask you, okay, I'm going to be the devil's advocate today. You are the researcher. Okay, but the Brahman community as a whole didn't like him. Okay, Ramanujacharya. In fact, they wanted to poison him and kill him.
Yes.
Say me, is it is true or not? And because they were angry against he stopping the pandit stealing the money from the temple. What was the reason? Go ahead.
Yes, there were many attempts on his life. Not one or two, but there were many attempts. The first attempt on his life was made by his first guru, second guru. Yeah, that is Yadava Prakasha, who was the Advaita scholar of Kanchipuram. So Yadava Prakasha was a big Advaita philosopher, and he did not like Ramanuja's brilliance because he could argue very well, and he was afraid that the Advaita philosophy would be taken over, or that the Advaita philosophy would get changed, and that is what happened, because Ramanujacharya essentially he was able to become the greatest exponent of the Vishishta Advaita philosophy by writing
Okay,
a
no,
commentary
you
on.
come to the point, ma. I am asking you. Okay,
Hmm.
the Brahman community was not happy with him,
Yes,
Ramanujacharya, and they wanted to kill him.
yes,
Okay, and the
yes,
pandits in the temple,
yes,
pujaris, were not happy with him because he didn't want them to steal money. Yes or no?
absolutely. Yes,
Please
yes.
go ahead.
This
That's
happened at
what I
Sri
want
Lanka.
from you.
Yes, this happened at Srirangam. After he became the Acharya of the Sri Vaishnavites of Srirangam, he started reforming the temple administration. And since he started, asking for proper accounting systems and all of that, and even in those days there were malpractices which are being practiced at the Srirangam temple, because he asked many questions. They did not like him. So even there were some even Sri Vaishnavites who were against him, and they wanted to have him. Done away with, because they thought he was asking many questions. So he was all not just a Sri Vaishnavite exponent and Vishishtadvaita philosophy exponent, but he was also a great reformer and administrative reformer as well. So he did
And why
carry
did
this.
the Brahmins wanted to kill him? He was a lady was trying to poison him. Why?
I do not know about the lady, but there have been many instances. Right from the time of Yadav Prakasha, who was Advaita philosopher who wanted to have him murdered. Then later on, when he was coming back from Kashmir, that time he was chased by people who were against him taking the vrittis of Bodhayana. That time they were planning to have him murdered. Then again, at Srirangam temple, when he carried out the reforms, that time many people stood up against him, and that time again they were, because he had a stunning personality. He was having a very wonderful demeanor. He had knowledge, and he was able to argue his points very well, and he was asking questions. And most importantly, he said he believed that all were whoever were devotees of Lord Vishnu should come to the temples. He threw open the temple doors. He opened the doors of the Yadugiri or the Melakote temple to the ordinary people. And he said, everybody is welcome as long as you're devoted to Emperman or Mahavishnu and you're completely devoted to him. You're all worthy of coming to temple. So he opened the temple doors to everybody. So this is what we're talking about. This kind of social justice 1,000 years back. Even today,
And
there are temples which are not open for everybody. It's not open for everyone. But
no, no, no.
he made.
See, I don't want to go there because most of the temples are still slaves of the government, and government wants to do this so so that they can
Yes.
create a discrimination. So it's not the temple doing it. That many time people have to understand,
Yes.
because I'm counter arguing with you, because that's my purpose, right? I'm not going to
Yes.
let you talk, okay, just like that. Okay, but say me why there should be a statue of unity. Here is Prime Minister Modi coming and doing rara for Ramanujacharya in Hyderabad, huge deity there. And why he deserves that or doesn't deserve that?
He definitely deserves. Sri Ramanujacharya deserves everything that is currently being done for him, for the simple reason that he was a person who did not practice caste discrimination 1,000 years back, who believed that everybody should be able to visit temples and that all are equal before God, and that everyone should be treated on the basis of their deeds and not on the basis of just their birth. So this kind of a social revolutionary who did all this 1,000 years back, bringing in new ideas and giving respect for the Sanskrit Vedas and the Tamil Vedas, the Pasurams, as well as creating a new system or Vedantic philosophy called Vishishta Advaita philosophy, and writing a large number of works like Vedartha Sangraha, Gita Bhashya, or a commentary on the Gita, then Sri Bhashya, commentary on the Bodhayanas Vritti. So he did so much of remarkable work in his one lifetime of 120 years. So naturally today he deserves everything that is being offered to in his honor, because he deserves it. He deserves it fully, because he was a legend in his lifetime, and even after that, even 1,000 years later, we are still talking about him because of his myriad contributions. In so many ways he's contributed to promote Sanatana Dharma and to bring to limelight the Vedantic philosophy of Vishishta Advaita. And by giving more respect, and by saying that the world is real, so instead of a
But
negative way of thinking, and that everything is Maya, he gave the people the pillar of support by saying the world is real, the Paramatma is
but
real, and the Jivatmas are also real.
absolutely,
The
let me
people.
ask you one thing. Just throw some light on this, okay?
Yes.
It is being said his real body is still there in Srirangam. Is that true? Can you talk to our audience? Is that true? And why? Because it's never our tradition. And how come a body can be alive for, means be there for, real body can be there for 1,000+ years?
Yes.
And
The
why
what they,
inside the temple?
yes, the body is there inside the Sri Rangam temple, um, and it has been well preserved as per that the temple people. But I'm not I do not know more about it. But I this is a very yes, this is a kind of this is a bit strange,
Because
because in other people.
absolutely, because his body is there in the Sri Rangam temple. You can see it, the real body. For
Yes.
the viewer's sake, I am saying, okay,
Yes.
and you can go and see. And because he considers Andal as his own sister. So the Ranganath Swami himself came in the dream, and he wanted a Sanadi for him because he's brother of Andal. Okay, in that regards. And it's amazing. But what kind of transformation he did. Anything, it's nothing but big feat. Okay, no question about it. And say, your last word, ma. We have a minute or minute and a half. Can you?
The topic has been given as Sri Ramanujacharya, saint, hero, and revolutionary. So, yes, I want to conclude by saying that yes, he was a real saint who practiced what he preached. He was a hero because whatever he said 1,000 years back is still valid till today. And yes, he was a revolutionary because he ensured that all people were treated with respect, and he gave importance to people's deeds rather than their mere birth in a particular community or whatever. So he was a revolutionary in the real sense. He was a social revolutionary who brought about a dramatic change in the way people thought, and he also was the person who was able to make the people of South India understand the value of the Sanskrit Vedas, and also gave the value that was due to the 4,000 pasurams of the Alvars. The Alvars, like Nammalvar, who had sung so much in praise of Mahavishnu, they were not remembered as much till he came, until he, the present day Tirupati temple or Sri Sailam temple got its prominence because he sent his devotee Anantacharya, Sri Anantacharya, to developed Tirupati. And he was a person who, did the remarkable things like writing commentary on the Bodhayana's Vritis, and by bringing to importance the Tirupati temple. All today's modern Tirupati was a huge debt of gratitude to the Sri Ramanujacharya for
Absolutely, absolutely.
promoting.
One last question to you, ma. Okay, it is being said, okay, Ramanuja did a real harm to Sanatan Dharma by replacing the Vedas with the Tamil poetries. What do you say about it, and what is your thought on
No,
it? Is that right
I
or
don't.
wrong?
No, he did not. He did not do that.
Because
That is
he took away the importance given to Veda, and he replaced it with the 4,000 songs what you were talking about, Nalayira Divya Prabandham, and called that a Veda. By that affected the Sanatan, they say. What do you think of it?
no, it is not true at all. He did not corrupt the Sanatana Dharma. Rather, he enriched it. He enriched Sanatana Dharma by saying that we need to understand the Lord Parabrahman or Emperman by understanding him, by understanding about the Vedas, the Sanskrit Vedas, the Upanishads, and the Puranas, and also by understanding that you cannot reach God only through scriptures alone, but by bhakti, which is what the Arvar said, that if you are totally devoted to something, then you will attain it. So he said we have to have a follow both the Sanskrit Vedas and follow the teachings of the Vedas, and also understand the meaning of the verses, or the meaning of the 4,000 pasarams which have been sung in praise of Lord Mahavishnu. So he says that we must have a combination of bhakti as given by the Arvars, and we must also have respect for our ancient scriptures. So he did not.
Absolutely.
He enriched Sanatana Dharma.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time, for coming and sharing your knowledge with us. Appreciate it highly. And absolutely, here is Ramanujacharya, a hero, a saint, hero, and revolutionary. Folks, what do you think of what Ms. Padmapriya said? Are you satisfied, happy? Comment. If you have any questions, put it over there. We will love to hear from you. And we will see you in the next video. Till then, Jai Jai Sri Ram. Om